walk into this new season with a new energy, because a new era requires a new energy. Essentially it does require something new from you. It's going to pull something new out of you. So instead of walking out into life, walking in the new direction of your life with the old ideals and the old beliefs and the old systems and ways of thinking, maybe push yourself out of your comfort zone. One step at a time, but just see what happens. Okay? Because you never know what's trying to emerge within your life. Hi guys! Now, if you guys don't know who I am, my name is Brendan Nicholas Baker, and this is my podcast, Breakfast with BP, dedicated to decomplicating spirituality and mindfulness for Gen Z and millennials. Okay? Ooh. Please forgive me. I'm trying to fix my beanie, you guys. Feeling like a fall outside, so I wanted to kind of give fall weather today in this video. I'm really excited to share this episode with you all. It is some of my best work, I must say. This episode in particular is actually a continuation of a previous episode that I did with my best friend Corwin. If you want to learn more about that, go watch the previous episode and then come back to this one. Funny enough, as we were recording, both my cameras died on me. And as a consequence of that, I ended up losing a lot of footage. I had the audio, thank God, because I record my audio externally. Hallelujah. But I didn't have the visuals. And I feel like the visuals just kind of make the podcast that much stronger and really help to communicate the emotion. So I was like, okay, how am I going to share this? And I thought, why not still? I wanted to still share it, but I wanted to get on screen first, just give you a little disclaimer so you can understand what is going on, give you a little context, and also say hello, because I feel like I haven't seen you guys in a minute. I haven't actually been able to speak to you face to face this season. So I'm really excited to say hello. Okay. Hi guys, happy fall, if it is fall in your area of the world. And if not, hello. I hope you're having a good day. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a great season. I hope you're treating yourself with gentleness, because girl, we need it. We all need it really bad. Honestly, I think this episode is going to do a great job of helping you to understand spirituality at a fundamental level. I wanted to break things down level by level, system by system, so that you guys could actually follow along with me on a more rolling basis. I hope this makes sense. And if it doesn't, let me know and I'll expound upon it in another episode. Take in what this episode has to offer, because it's going to be a little bit groundbreaking. It's going to be a little bit of a, it's going to be thought provoking. It's going to be a little bit of a belief boundary pushing episode. So just be open, remain open, listen, not to respond, but to hear. Okay. Listen with your heart. As they say in Pocahontas, listen with your heart and you will understand. Okay. Anyways, back to the question at hand. Corwin asked, he said, are your actions your character, or your character your action, whatever? What was it?
Are your character your actions, and is when you have bad actions, are you acting out of your normal character, or is that your character, or when does it become your character, or like along the lines of that?
Okay, I'm about to say some things that might necessarily not blow your mind, but you may not necessarily agree with or understand as of yet, and that's okay. If you don't, that's okay. If you do, that's cool too. So from my understanding, who you are, and this is why it's important to ask this question, who you are is unchanging. It's much like God, because again, we are his children. We are a part of him. We are spirit. So if we're a part of God, who is everything, then we also can operate and move under the same, how do I put this? Move under the same laws in which he does, if that makes sense. Technically, they say it's called eternal life for a reason, because like, even if you pass from this body, you're still a present being. You're still an energy. And so the question of who am I is asking, who is that energy? Who is that force? Who is that? What is that? That is love. That is God. That is joy. That is wholeness. That is consciousness and awareness in its purest form. That is who you are. You are not your character. You are not your actions. You are not what you do. You are not who you hang out with. You are not how much you make. You are not even your skin tone, your body type, your gender, your sexuality. None of that. That is not actually who you are. All of that is labels in order for you to kind of understand this life experience a little bit more. It's all labels. And people, I don't think necessarily understand that, and sometimes it can be hard to take in, but it's like, think about it. Like, today you could have a kid and your label changed. Now you're a father, now you're a mother. Yesterday you were a single person. Today you got married. Label changed. Okay, I'm a brown-skinned black person. Michael Jackson changed his skin tone. I'm being real. I'm just saying. If it's changeable, it's not you. God is eternal and he's unchanging, just as you are. You are his child, and he created you from love, with love, by love, with love in mind. You are all that is good. You are all that is gracious. In fact, you transcend goodness. You transcend dark and light and all forces of nature. You are power within itself. That's why, like, people say go inward, because everything you need, you have within you. All the love that you want to experience, you are that. I am love. I bring love to myself. I can support myself because I am all that is. That is the oneness of creation. If you think about it, the word says, or at least the word says that God says that I am that I am. And he's the great I am. So if he's the great I am, who's just the I am? We are. So, like, you don't have to operate from the parameters of these small boxes that we're placed into, because we're breathing through bodies now. Okay, cool. Maybe before you was just in space as a star. But didn't you still shine regardless? You're still a light. And you can transcend the light too. You can transcend all of it. That's the point of this experience. Is developing in your concept of love, becoming that much more love, becoming the unconditional love that is actually God. That's finding your way back to yourself. That's who you are. The unconditional person the unconditional, not even person, but the unconditional awareness that is behind the personhood, that is behind the mindset, that is behind the heart, that says, like, oh, I feel for that person. I empathize with that person. I love that person. I care for that person. That is you. Not the person that judges yourself or others. Not the person that felt abandoned or neglected. You're none of that. Because say your dad was in the picture, then who are you? Okay, I'm the son. But say your dad wasn't in the picture. Okay, I'm not a son. You can change your gender today if you want to. Like, all this stuff is fleeting. All of it is fleeting. So that means it's not you. Yesterday you had a job, today you're unemployed. So what? Let's talk about it. So does that make you better or less than? Does that change your value or your worthiness? You are worthiness itself. And when you come to understand that in its fullness, you really won't even be asking as many questions, because it's already answered. It's like, bitch, what the fuck else do I need to do? It is not even about doing even then. It's like, okay, now I can allow God to do through me. Now I can allow the universe to move through me and operate through me and speak through me and touch lives through me. Because I'm not operating from that sense of the ego anymore. I'm not operating from that sense of the personhood anymore. Because if you notice, have y'all ever noticed where you had somebody who did something for you, right? Like, they were always there for you and they always supporting you and they're always talking about how much they did for you, but you never actually felt loved by their actions? So their character, if you think about it, if we said that actions define character, their character would suggest that they are a loving and kind and gracious and charitable and generous person. But when you experience and interact with their so-called character, do you feel that much more loved? Do you feel that much more seen? Do you feel that much more heard or supported? Do you feel that much more worthy or enough? No. So that would say, like, there's a difference here. Love is just love. Love is truth. You know it. What?
What do you say to people who say? Because I read this in a book one time. Love is in action.
Yeah.
Um, I know it can be felt, of course,
Mhm.
but a whole lot of people think like they say things like, and I say things like this too, like well, what's the most recent popular one? If you let somebody shenan, they gonna shenan again. or or people say it's not people say, but it's what they do. And I feel like from experience at a certain point, that's true, but it's not even. Dang, I don't want to go there with it. But I would say, I don't know. I feel like. Do you feel like it's like love is like an action, or it can be?
In my humble opinion, to be honest, y'all, I feel like love can't be an action. Love is all that is. So in some forms it might take action, yes. But that doesn't mean it's love just because it's not necessarily an action. Because love is energy. There's different forms of energy. So there's kinetic energy, and then there's what's the stored one? Potential energy. So it's energy that's stored away. Like think about it, like when you eat food, right? The food being digested is kinetic energy. But when the food is stored, the energy from the food is stored in your body to be used at its whim, that is potential energy. So love can sometimes take motion and sometimes it ain't. Again, it's always evolving, it's always expanding. In my opinion, love is a state of being. And because it's a state of being, it can take action. As in, like, think about it, like the sun is radiant, so therefore it radiates. That is the action of the sun. That is what light does. It illuminates, it radiates. That is the action it takes.
Is it kind of like you are what you are when you're supposed to be what you are, and you? And
It's not necessarily even that, because then that's again identifying with the character of the human, the person. That's what we call personhood in mindfulness. You know, okay, for example, I identify as gay, so like what do gay people do? That's personhood. I identify as a kind person, so what does a kind person do? That's personhood. There's an action behind that definition. Love doesn't need a definition in order to be love. It just is. That's what I'm saying. And so when you understand that, it's like you realize that it doesn't require as much. Like, people make an action out of love, which is why it makes you feel not enough, or you feel unworthy, because you see people taking actions when they say they love someone, or you see people not in action when they say they dislike someone or they don't love someone. So you again identify that as a sign and a signal that you're worthy or unworthy of love. No, you are worthy of love because you are love itself, because you were created, again, like I said earlier, by love in mind. You were created by love with itself. You were created by love itself. You were created by Source himself, the universe himself at large, who loved us so much that he literally created about 15 billion blades of grass just for us to sit in. We got apple trees and orange trees. We got wind and oceans and seas. We have people that can see and hear and smell and touch. Is that not all an expression of love? And again, God don't make us earn his love. There is no action involved. There's no requirement, there's no prerequisite. We as humans made a prerequisite because we said, okay, you're worthy if you treat me this way, and you're unworthy if you treat me that way. But let's think about it. Like, say, for example, a dog, right? You could have a dog, because I know for us, one thing I love about my dog is the fact that every time I come home, he is there to greet me at the door. Like he never seen me before. Happy as fuck. You would think you didn't just see him a couple hours previously. But he's delighted to see you. And so, my family members, they revel in our dog Charlie. We love him down because he feels like an expression of love. But what if one day you come home and he's not in the mode or in the mood to run to the door? Does that mean he doesn't love you anymore? Does that mean you're unworthy of love? No, it means that there's something leading Charlie to stay where he's at, and there's something leading you to experience that experience where he didn't run to the door that day. To realize that love is not a performance. Love is not performative. Love is not about showing up. It's about being that which is love. And through being, you are a doer. You're going to do. God is always in motion. Again, he's always doing. Like the world is spinning and we don't even feel it. That's how magical love is. It can be that oxymoron. It can be that thing which is in motion and not in motion at the same time. So yes, if some people are showing you that they don't actually fuck with you, if they don't actually care for you, if they're abusing you, neglecting you, and I mean like actual neglect, not they didn't answer your phone call this week, but if like they seriously harm, abuse, or mistreat you, okay, take that as a sign to move on. But every action, whether it's deemed positive or negative, whether it's deemed acceptable or not, or whether it's deemed as kindness or not, none of that has to do with you. None of that has to do with your character. None of that has to do with who you are as a person. And even character is just something that you develop to make yourself safe. Character is a part of the human experience. But who you actually are is that unchanging love. Yeah, today you might cuss somebody out. That doesn't mean that you're not capable of showing love. I'm sure there's somebody in your life that feels love for you and that you feel love for them. They feel your warmth when you're in their presence. That is love. I have people who just light up just at the sight of me, and I don't got to do nothing. Before I would, because I'd be like, I got to show them I got to be the best friend and I got to be the loyal friend. But now it's like, no, I can just be me and know that's enough because I am love. So if people feel love within my vicinity, it has nothing to do with me, be honest. It just means that they're open and receptive to the love that I am. And if they can't receive it, that's on them. But also, if I can't receive their rejection, then it doesn't make me love, now does it? Or loving, should I say, not love. But that's not loving. Love allows all things. God allows all things. He allows you to reject him. He allows you to embrace him. He allows you to receive him. He allows you to ignore him. And he still loves you the same regardless. That is love. I can't really put it any other way. Love is that force that just is. So maybe if you let down your guard and let down the character of who you believe you need to be, if you let go of the actions that you feel like are indicators of your self-worth, you'll understand who you actually are. And you'll uncover who you actually are. And that will open you up to your true character, your true nature, as I would say. I wouldn't say necessarily your character, but your true nature. Because once you know that, it's like, bitch, all bets are off. It don't matter what nobody got to say about you. It doesn't matter if they have a positive or negative opinion of you. You transcend all actions. You transcend all opinions. So you're not worried about if someone treats you well, if you feel worthy or not worthy by the actions that they take. You just move and operate from that fullness and from that wholeness that you actually are, without needing shit. You don't need anything because you are all that is. You're just looking for it outside of yourself. And that's okay, because there's a time for searching and there's a time for finding and enlightenment. There's a time for ignorance and there's a time for wisdom. All of it is necessary, all of it is important, and all of it is welcome, because that is the experience of life. Once you open yourself up to it, the miraculous becomes normal. It becomes real normal. Thank you so much for tuning in for yet another episode. I'm still learning my way and navigating this podcast thing, and so I hope I'm not rambling too much, or I hope that everything that I said was understandable and that it hit home, or that it at least resonates with you. And even if it doesn't, open yourself up to it. Listen back to this episode and take away what does and what doesn't. It's okay. You're gonna realize your true self whether you listen to this podcast or not. Because what's for you is for you. I can't change that. I can only hopefully make the journey a little easier. But I love you guys so much. Sending you so much light and love. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you left a comment, thank you. If you liked, if you commented, if you subscribed, if you followed, if you shared, whatever you did, I appreciate it. Again, you can follow me on socials at Breakfast with BB, the podcast, on Instagram. You can follow my regular Instagram as well, Brandon Nicholas Baker. You can follow me on TikTok at Brandon Nicholas Baker, as well as Breakfast with BB. So yeah, I'm all over the internet. There's multiple places where you can access me. So if you have any questions, anything intimate you want to share, let me know. Hit me up. Anyways, I love ya. I got to go now. This got really long, but yeah, I'll catch you in the next episode. Until then, take care of yourself. Breathe in and out. And trust that the universe has got your back, because it does. Okay? I'll catch you next time.